So the core sector growth has eased in March, that is March 2024. So first things first, what do you mean by the growth easing? Does it mean that the growth has increased or does it mean that it has slowed down? Very important to understand this, because in question they can use these kind of terms. So when we are saying that the growth eases, we are saying that the growth has slowed down. For example, if you are running fast and I ask you to ease down, as in slow down, your speed is fast, slow down. So core sector growth eases in March 2024 is the latest news. So in today's session, we will be seeing by how much it has eased, how much has gone down, what are the repercussions for this. We will also simplify the core sector for you. Alright, so let's get started. First things first, why news? Of course, there has been an ease in the growth rate, but with respect to how much amount is also important. So March 2024 core sector industries growth rate has eased to 5.2%. It has eased to 5.2%. What was the previous month's rate? It was 7.1% in February. So one thing also comes clear, that every month this growth rate is being published. We'll see the frequency, who brings it out, etc., etc. So from 7.1% in Feb to 5.2% in March. Now this looks like only a 1.9% of reduction from 7.1% to 5.2%. It looks like only a 1.9% reduction, but actually it is not 1.9% reduction. In fact, it is more than 25% reduction, because from 7.1 if you are going to 5.2, how much is the reduction? The reduction is of over 25%, more than 25% reduction is there in the growth rate, which is more than 1/4 has been reduced. So it is of course a big deal. Alright, now having said that, because of this, see in March the financial year ends. So because of this significant dip, the entire growth rate of the entire financial year has also come down. So what has happened to that? The core sector industries growth rate. Okay, so it has come down to 7.5% in 23-24 as compared to what? 7.8% in 22-23. Okay, so that has also come down by a considerable amount. By actually, it looks 7.8 and 7.5, the difference looks just 0.3, but actually the reduction is over 5% over here. More than 5% over here has been reduced. That has happened to this due to this major significant dip. The entire year's growth rate of the core sector industries has gone down. The core sector industries growth rate has gone down for the entire financial year. Now, this is the news, this is what has happened. So now let us understand, let us simplify what is core or what are core industries. So first things first, please understand that in an economy there are three main sectors. Why I am saying three main sectors? Because there are also other sectors as well, but three main sectors. What are these sectors? These sectors are your primary sector, then your secondary sector, then your tertiary sector. Now there would also be quaternary and quinary sector. So primary means the first, secondary means the second, tertiary means the third. In the same manner, just for prelims knowledge, you should also know that there is a quaternary sector also and a quinary sector also. So quaternary literally means fourth, quinary literally means the fifth sector. Okay, now what does this sector include? In primary, you include agriculture, mining. What are these kind of sectors? These are the sectors wherein you exploit the naturally available resources. So that would be your agriculture, that would be your mining sector, right? Now, please understand that in mining, you may be using machinery to mine, excavate. But what are you extracting? What are you exploiting? It's the natural resources. So hence it's a primary sector. Do not get confused. Okay. Secondary sector, in secondary sector what happens is whatever you have extracted or exploited in the primary sector, whatever natural resources you've extracted, you process that in the secondary sector. So this would be your industrial sector, and this is our point of focus today. But let me tell you other sectors also. Tertiary sector is the service sector. Now what are quaternary and quinary sectors? See, quaternary sector would be majorly talking about research and development. Research and development, and the quinary sector would consist of high level decision making. So what is high? People who make high level decisions. So who are the ones who make high level decisions? You can include the government over here, bureaucracy, as well as the government. So these are your 5 sectors. That's why I wrote 3 main sectors of the economy. Majority, almost all of the GDP comes from these 3 main sectors. And our point of focus is the secondary, that is the industrial sector. So let's have a focus on industrial sector. In industrial sector, what we have done is, from the industries, there can be various types of industries in different fields. So we have come across 8 core industries. Out of all the types of industries, we have come up with 8 core industries. And these 8 core industries together constitute the core sector which we are today talking about. Alright. So, what is the concept of core industries? The core sector in India, they are basically comprising of the 8 key industries, right? What are these key industries? These key industries are refinery products, talking about, we purchase crude oil from Middle East countries, even from Russia and other countries as well, and we refine them. And you should know this, that we are an importer of crude oil, but at the same time we are an exporter of petroleum. Why? Because our refinery industry is quite developed. We buy the crude oil, we refine it, of course we ourselves use it, but a lot of petroleum we also export and earn foreign exchange. Then electricity, again a big industry. Majority of the electricity, more than 60% you can say, is thermal electricity made out of coal. So since it's made out of coal, 60% of the electricity is made out of coal. So coal would again be another important industry. So that is again in part of core industries. Plus steel. Steel specifically used for the infrastructure projects. Then crude oil. Of course crude oil, because this is again interrelated. Buying a lot of crude oil, it is required. We convert it into petroleum, use it, also convert it into petroleum and export it. Natural gas, very important with respect to environment sustainability. Then cement and fertilizers. Cement, again you can connect cement with your steel for infrastructure projects. Government few years back had said that we need $1 trillion in the next 10 years. So a lot of infrastructure investment is required. So a lot of construction material, steel and cement is also required. And then of course fertilizer is also there, a very primary ingredient in our agricultural sector. And close to 50% people are employed in agriculture. It's very important. Fertilizer is one such industry related to agriculture, but it's not primary, it's secondary sector only because it is manufacturing fertilizer, it's an industry. So these are the 8 core industries which together combine to form your core industries or the core sector in the industrial sector. I hope that's clear. Now what is the significance of the 8 core industries? These 8 core industries have interconnections. What interconnections? The interconnections is clearly visible here itself. The crude oil and refinery products, right? Electricity and coal. Now steel and cement go hand in hand for construction. Natural gas again related to refinery and crude oil. We need to increase the use of natural gas. It is less pollutant, so on and so forth. And fertilizer for agriculture. Now it's not just about the interconnection among these. The interconnection that is being talked about is with respect to the interconnection of these industries with respect to a lot of things that is going on in the Indian economy. So, for example, I'll give you an example of the interconnectedness. If the price of the petrol goes up, what happens? When the price of the petrol goes up, price of only the petrol does not go up. Or let's say price of the petrol and diesel has gone up. So, petrol and diesel price have gone up. So, what happens? The prices of cement, of steel, of tomatoes, potatoes, agricultural produce, industrial produce, literally every price will go up. Almost all prices may go up. Why? That is because no matter what, no matter if it is an agricultural product or an industrial product, it needs to be transported from one place to another. And now since this is costlier, the transportation charges would be costlier, right? So that is one thing. It is so much of related. Now to produce anything in industry, you need electricity. So in every sector, electricity is required. Now to create the industry itself, you need steel, you need cement. The entire agriculture needs fertilizers. Then you have crude oil. Now crude oil again getting converted into refinery product, again related to this. Natural gas, again you may use it instead of petroleum as a cheaper substitute or as a less pollutant, right? So these 8 are interconnected to everything else that is going in the economy, be it primary or be it secondary sector. Hence interconnection is there, right? Now interconnection means interdependence. So when there is interdependence, there will be multiplier effect. As I explained, if the price of petrol goes up, the prices of everything goes up. So in the same way, if these 8 core industries are developing faster, the growth is faster, everything else will also have a positive faster impact. So it will create a multiplier effect, meaning change in the core industry would reflect the change in the entire industrial ecosystem. Okay, and of course they are important for the development of the country's infrastructure. We have seen that clearly. Now coming on to the core sector growth rate. Now how is it calculated? It is calculated with respect to these 8 core industries, but all these 8 core industries are not given equal weightage. For example, if this is growing at 10%, 10%, 10%, 10, 10, 10 and the end fertilizer is growing at let's say 5%. So, or let's say top 4 is going at 10% and bottom 4 at 5%. So it will not be simply as what I said, top 4 growing at 10%, bottom 4 growing at 5%. So it will not be simply 4 into 10 plus 4 into 5 upon 8, which would have given you 60 upon 8. It will not be this. Why? Because the weightage of each of this core industry is not same. And there's a reason for that. What is the reason? Because these different industries contribute differently to the GDP, have different market capital, have different amount that they contribute in quantum to the GDP. The sizes of these industries themselves are different. Hence, when you calculate the growth rate of these individual, or when you combine it together, basically you combine it together and come up with the index of core industries. So in this, you take the respective weightages of these different industries and then calculate the growth rate. Okay. So what is the index of 8 core industries? Index of 8 core industries will measure what? The performance of the 8 core industries. And how will it be calculated? With the help of individual weightages that is given to the each core industry. We'll see the weightages also. Okay. And remember, these core industries are a part of the total industrial ecosystem. There are other industries which are also present, but these 8 core industries alone comprise of 40.2% of the entire industrial sector. And the entire industrial sector's performance is given by Index of Industrial Promotion, that is IIP. These 8 core industries comprise 40.27% of IIP. And it is the barometer, means a measure of understanding the performance of the industry on a monthly basis. Hence, these are published frequently every month. Now, coming on to the Index of Industrial Promotion. Of course, it is the index of the 8 core industries. It is prepared every month. Very important for prelims to know the frequency and who brings it out. Who brings it out? It is brought out by the Office of the Economic Advisor. Now, the Office of the Economic Advisor is under the Department for Promotion of Industries and Internal Trade, that is DPIIT. Now, this department is under the Ministry of Commerce and Industry. I hope this is very clear. Now, when this index of core industry is brought out, what is the use of this? It helps the policy makers to draft policy, the banks to give loans at different interest rate for different industries, so on and so forth. So widely used by the policy makers. In fact, Ministry of Finance and even other ministries also would use it. Even banks, while financing the infrastructure projects, would be using this, because they should also know if, let's say, steel and cement production is down, it is slow, and the demand is still high, so the prices may go up. So what can be the profit margins? All those things, calculations, even the banks use it, and the Reserve Bank of India as well as the Railway Board. So all of them are using this ICI in their either policy making or setting up of interest rates. Now let us look at the weightage of the core industry which is there. So weightage is different, as I said. The majority of the weight, not majority, it's still less than 50%, but the highest rated is refinery products. Then you have electricity, steel, coal. Refinery products almost 1/3, but not still 1/3, 28.04. Electricity almost 20%, 19.85. Steel is not far behind, so this can flip. So always remember the updated one, because these are very close. Okay. Fourth is coal, 10.33, then crude oil 8.98, natural gas 6.88, cement 5.37, and fertilizer is quite low at 2.33. Alright, so this, guys, is all about your 8 core industries. Now there has been a question which has also been asked previously in 2015. The question is, in the index of 8 core industries, which one of the following is given the highest weightage? Now the problem is, we know that refinery is given the highest weightage, but what is the problem? The problem is these options does not mention refinery. So what we will do, out of these, which is the highest, we will be mentioning that. So out of this, first was refinery, second was what? Second was steel, electricity, right? So refinery products is not there, but the next highest is electricity. So among the given options, which would be the highest? Electricity generation. Hence B would be the correct option. A question had already been asked in 2015. It's been quite a long time. A question in prelims can be asked from 8 core industries, especially because of the significant drop which we have seen, and because of which the entire financial year's growth rate has gone down. So this is all about your 8 core industries. Stay tuned to Legacy IAS for more such informative bits.